the Super Speedway.
Somebody just crashed.
Welcome to episode 362 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. I'm your host, Derek Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, I'm pushing the needles right away with the driver audio.
That was a good place to start. Sometimes I show up with my tail tucked in between my legs. That's one of those days.
Was there a worse take this weekend than that radio chatter from Kyle Larson at the start of Indy 500?
Okay, so here's my question. Larson wasn't the one who said the FI.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
The radio chatter. I don't know. It was not a good look for however it went down. However it went down was not a good look. However, I will say, the guy did crash on the warm-up lap. So,
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Well, I mean,
we all thought the same thing. So did Twitter.
Yeah.
So for a minute, and then we felt bad.
Well, not to start motorsports or racing Christmas discussion with
start with the Indy 500.
I'm going to start with Cletus McFarland. So
oh Jesus,
because Cletus took a bunch of people out in the ARCA race too. I don't know if you saw it, spinning his tires.
Oh, I saw it. Oh yeah, I saw
and my buddy, who is a Cletus fan and not a racing fan, was watching. He watched the onboard camera actually, and he was like, he kind of like felt bad for Cletus about it and like bummed out. I'm like, dude, these guys, the pros do that. It's like, it's not
everybody fails, dude.
Yeah, anybody is, and it's the same thing with Scott McLaughlin. It's the same thing with Kyle Larson. They're all humans.
I wonder if Cletus is going to get all the feedback that Catherine Legg got.
I know,
crashing everybody in.
Well, I was going to make that joke this weekend that Kyle Larson crashed more times than Catherine Legg did, but
I heard somebody. Actually, I heard Pato O'Ward say this. He said Kyle could either stay home and not do it, or he could go out there and try it.
Yeah.
And the guy goes out there and tries it. So you either respect him for it or you don't. So
look, I will give him crap, and I will give you crap by extension.
Dude,
but
yeah, that's fine.
There's no, I mean, let's put it this way. One driver in history has run all 1,100 laps.
God dang right. Or
1,100 miles. One driver, right. That's it. It's hard to do. Kyle Larson did equal the accomplishment of one driver. I mean, he did wreck in both races like Robbie Gordon did. So good for Kyle. He met an accomplishment somewhere. But it's freaking hard to do. And yeah, anyway.
Dude, the year Tony did it
was incredible.
Finished third. Yeah, but he crashed on lap 2 of the 600.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it happens.
Yep.
It's, I don't know, man. It's hey, there's a part of me deep down that's like, my goat. Well, my goat is still the goat.
Dude, I was so impressed when Larson goes and takes the lead early in that freaking race too in the 600. Like, come out of that day, that weekend, I know that race, and just, yeah.
I think he is a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve. Yeah. Like, I know there's different versions of that guy. Like, there's Blunt Larson. There's he kind of moseys around Larson, but when he's disappointed. Oh, you can see the disappointment.
I felt for him because he was just bummed. And when he apologized, the way he was apologizing for spinning out at the 600 the first time, it's like, dude, you have nothing to apologize for. Like, come on.
Well, I think the other part of this is like the greatest driver in the world comments are like, people have clung to that. Like, he is not. And I'm just like, he still is, but it's fine if you guys want to.
Well, the dude's got a crap ton of pressure. I mean, can you imagine the pressure he's under?
Well, and he's trying to make it to the 600 on time because of the stupid rule that is in place.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help his case, but,
Well, do you want to hear my conspiracy theory?
Sure.
He wrecked in the Indy 500 on purpose because he didn't want to have to get out of the car unwillingly.
Maybe. I don't know. Man, I wouldn't want to wreck one of those things.
I don't think it's true. But so this is the second time. We'll get to the 600 here in a second. But this is the second time at Indianapolis that something weird has happened with Kyle Larson that never really gets explained. The TV broadcast, they played the replay on board. It sounds like he downshifts. He didn't acknowledge in the interviews that he downshifted. He acted like he didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
And you remember it in the race on the road course when he wrecked And at the end of the front straightaway in the Cup car, same thing. Like he didn't hit the brakes in time, and there were all kinds of questions, and we never really got an actual answer of what the hell happened. What is going on with that place in Kyle Larson?
I don't know. I did listen. Pato said too another really interesting thing that he said it was really hard to drive for the regulars because the track was so cool this year. Yeah, that the drivers
plus they had that hybrid thing too.
Yep, and this is the first year of the hybrid, and he said everybody was kind of chasing it all week. So or all month, I should say. But the last couple of years, I have watched the Indy 500, and it has finished, and I've been like, man, I wish there was another one of those coming up. This year was not the case. That was not a great race. No, it was entertaining as heck because it was so wild at the start. And then,
but it wasn't a good race. It just was a crazy race. Weird stuff happened, but I don't think the racing was good.
No, the racing was fine.
Not compared to what we've seen at the Indy 500.
The thing with Indy is those guys are nuts. And
100%.
It's like you watch it because you're just like, those guys are the bravest people in the world.
Yeah. And all the talk of cars getting airborne in practice and qualifying and all that stuff, and not one lifted off the ground in the race.
Thank God.
Yep. So
thank God. We don't need to see it.
Well, I've only prolonged this because it's so much fun.
Do it, man.
To discuss with you the winner of the Coca-Cola 600.
Do it. Let's go.
Ross Chastain gets the win, busts the watermelon on the front stretch. What's that?
I said also known as.
Yeah.
That's an inside joke for the pod. We won't say it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. You might get to it, but I'm not saying it.
No, I won't do it.
James, I have to ask you, did you listen to the teardown today?
I did. Well, I listened to it yesterday. Yes.
Okay. Did you, were you furious? Because they gave so much praise to Ross Chastain.
I was laughing so hard.
Jordan Bianchi said he's one of the best drivers, if not the best in NASCAR.
I was laughing because they didn't actually talk about Ross for the first 15 minutes of the dang episode. No, I honestly, you're gonna laugh at this, but this is my counter to you because I know you're coming after me today, which is cool. Yeah. Let's go.
I got ammo,
dude. What were you and I literally talking about 2 weeks ago? You and I talked about this 2 weeks ago, and I said to you then, I'm like, I can't knock the guy. He's driving his ass off lately. Like he has been driving phenomenally. And when they were talking about that, of course, like deep down, I'm like, oh man. But I'll kind of reiterate what I said a couple weeks ago. It's like the guy has figured it out. He's cleaned it all up. The crap that used to drive me crazy doesn't drive me crazy anymore. Yeah. Now smashing the watermelon at the start finish line drives me crazy still. There's things that do drive me crazy.
I'm not bothered by the smashing of the watermelon. I'm bothered by the picking up the broken pieces afterwards and taking a bite out of it.
Giving it to people. Yeah, I know it's gross. But Eric, I will eat it on the fact that he drove, like, I thought he was so erratic that he just wouldn't figure it out. I'll be honest with you. Like, I was like, this guy's not going to figure it out. He's fast, but he's not going to figure it out. I did not give him enough credit back then when he was going through his stuff.
Right.
That, eventually he probably will figure it out, because when you're fast like that, you can't teach that kind of speed.
Right.
Even when you've got a car that's not the best, you start to, there's just guys that you see and you know, like, man, that guy's got something a little bit different. Ross has always had a little bit of something different.
Like Carson Hocivar, we're going to talk
about. Carson Hocivar's got that. Yeah, Carson Hocivar's got that. But man, Eric, I tell you what, when it got to, I think I messaged you with 15 to go. Mm-hmm. And I've quote unquote, this is gonna bleeping hurt because it was over. Like you could tell, like he was coming like a freight train. He was gonna get Byron no matter what. And
the old Chastain would have wrecked himself, if not both of them.
Well, that's the thing. Like I felt,
which by the way, I was looking forward to. I really wanted to see it happen because I wanted Briscoe to win.
yeah. I was watching it, and that's the thing that stuck out to me the most was I was anticipating it. Like they got close to each other going into turn one really late in that run. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, here it comes. And no, it didn't. He was patient. He was smart. Denny Hamlin got up there and kind of disrupted things a little bit,
Well, did you listen to Denny's podcast?
I didn't listen to what Denny said.
Oh, because Denny called you you an idiot. He called you an idiot, James.
He called me an idiot? Okay, that's fine.
Every one of the Hendrick fanboys who think that he affected the finish of the race, he said, are stupid.
Oh, okay.
So, well, and as I was listening to it yesterday, I'm like, oh, he's talking right to James.
That's fine. I wouldn't call myself a Hendrick fanboy, but that's okay. That's fine. He got up there and disrupted things. I don't understand why we're so stupid, why everybody's so stupid, but that's fine. Not as much as Joey Logano did. I mean, Joey was doing his own Joey-ness.
Let's be real though. Joey was more of a factor than.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't think Hamlin changed the outcome.
He didn't intentionally do anything that would.
I'm not even going with intention. I don't think he really changed anything. Did he affect things? Sure, but I don't think he changed anything. I think the result would have been the same whether he was there or not. But Logano, I think
Ross was coming. Yeah, Logano definitely. But yeah, I think Denny sped up the process a little bit when he got in there. And he neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. Ross was coming for the checkered flag.
Yeah.
So, and then Byron just, Eric, it happens again with him. And I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, Rudy Fugle, you need to figure something out on your end because you guys have these really fast race cars.
Yeah.
And by the end of every race that you've got the best car, the car hasn't been adjusted to the point where you can continue to lead the race at the same rate.
Yeah.
It's starting to drive me crazy. Like they lost a championship that way a couple years ago at Phoenix. Same thing. What was it, Kansas earlier this year or Darlington? He led a ton of laps again and let it get away. It's like
right. Well, he led 283 laps in this race.
Dominated. He
swept the stages, and was 5 laps away from sweeping all 4.
Yep.
I mean,
but it had a perfect day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, coming off a perfect day the day before,
Yeah, I know. It's just, I know if that race would have ended, again, 15 laps sooner, we wouldn't have even been talking about. But that car just went away, and Denny was faster than him.
Yeah.
Before Denny had his issue.
Yeah.
And Carson was.
Yeah, you want somebody who like, Byron's team, and I won't say Byron, but Byron's team has given at least 2 races away this year, that they should have won.
Yep.
But look at Denny Hamlin. Like, I mean,
yeah, Denny gave it away.
How many? And that wasn't Denny either. That was the pit crew. But still, I mean, it's another like Denny. I think Denny was probably the car to beat at the end of this thing.
Well, they were. For that. I don't know about you. I was having a blast watching Byron and Hamlin.
It was so good.
They were throwing haymakers, and then you had Carson.
Clean haymakers.
Yes. Yep. Clean haymakers, and then Carson was right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a good. That fourth stage was so strong.
Let me say something. I'm not advocating for this to change because I like the 600-mile race. I like the fact that we do it once, and it's even more rare now that we have so few 500-mile races. But in all honesty, the first 200 miles of this race mean nothing.
No, first half is...
They're boring. They're just filler to get to the last 200 miles. But that's fine. That's totally fine. Yep. But yeah, the first half of the race, I'm like, am I really going to sit through this whole thing? But by the third stage, it was improving. And the fourth stage was excellent.
Yeah, it was, and I was watching it, I think we'll probably talk about this in a little bit, but I was watching also the race coverage and was really intrigued by that. So that kept me going. But man, I don't know. There were 4 race cars, 4 different teams. Everybody had something for the other one. Byron was, was the man out front. Hamlin was coming just as fast. They were duking it out. Ross was climbing through the field all day. And then you had this, this young buck up there, like maybe going to get his first win, Jeff Gordon style at the 600. It's like, holy crap.
18 points is all he got out of this day.
And he was so good too. He was so
that
good.
Poor kid, if his equipment just would stay together.
Can you believe he had an engine failure? I cannot believe he had an engine failure.
I was so bummed.
He was so good. So good.
Yeah. Man,
those 4 cars though, what a show. I mean, that was, Gluck's was the best race of the season.
Yeah.
And man, I love the other thing is like, you've got like these personalities all up there. It's just crazy. You've got Hamlin, Ross, and Carson, who are just like, they are like shooting. bottle rockets.
Let's not count Kyle Larson out. I know he wrecked, but he led 34 laps of this race.
Yeah, he was up there. Yep,
he was up there too. He was a big storyline early.
Such a long race, you start to lose track.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though. That's the 600. You know, a lot of times
it's a marathon.
It's actually interesting to me that we've had so many times that drivers have won multiple stages and won the race, because so often the guys who are competitive at the beginning aren't the ones that are competitive at the end.
Right. Night, the track cools, it gets dark,
but it didn't cool as much this year. There wasn't as big of a change, right. Because it was cool to start with. So that might've changed things a little bit too, but
yep.
There's a lot of flowers to give up front. I mean, again, Chase Briscoe, another strong finish in third. AJ Allmendinger got rave reviews on the teardown, and
yeah, he had a great race, man. He was in the top 10 all day.
He's been good, period. I mean, he's been great all season.
Yep. Brad had a great day, just a work. Brad had one of those roll up the sleeve days, that team.
Well, can I go back to AJ Allmendinger and
just reiterate
the fact that that pulling him out of the Cup car was the dumbest thing that Kaulig has ever done. That set that team backwards, James. In my opinion.
Yeah, we were screaming about it when they did it. Like, what the heck are you guys doing?
They're finally catching back up. But why would you take a veteran like that out of the seat? I get that it likely with sponsorship and all that stuff, but man, he's had all the seat time
and people forget how long he's been in the Cup Series. I mean, he's been in the Cup Series for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
You've just got a true professional, that can get the job done he keeps it clean. Like, you never see AJ wrecking a lot.
No.
Like, that's not something he does. And then, if you go to a road course, he's going to give you a shot.
Yeah.
So,
if he is going to wreck a lot, he'll do like he did in Portland that one time in the Xfinity Series race and still win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to throw some flowers Michael McDowell's way. I know we gave him a lot of crap a couple weeks ago for screwing up at the end and costing himself a chance at a win. But another strong finish for him and Spire in general. But great run for McDowell in 7th. Yep.
Another good run for McDowell, absolutely.
Ryan Preece, 9th place, another good run for him. Gregson gets a top 10.
He was good all day too.
Yeah, Stenhouse right there. Stenhouse, they were talking about on the teardown, he's in the points right now. And
him and AJ.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Ryan
and the
Preece,
legacy, I think the legacy cars too, real quick.
Yeah.
Just they didn't finish where they were running most of the day, but Eric Jones was having a really great run, and so was John Hunter. Like, that was nice to see those guys just being strong. Like, John Hunter didn't get the finish he deserves, but that was still a really good day for him.
What is RFK going to do with Ryan Preece's car next season? Because they only have that charter for a year, right? It's a lease charter.
Yeah, but I think they'll wiggle their way into figuring it out.
They've got to, right? I mean,
yeah, they wouldn't put a
Brad's not going anywhere, right?
No,
I mean,
no, I think they'll be okay. They'll figure something.
You would assume they have a plan at this point, but I don't know. Maybe we can't assume
let
that.
Preece. Yeah, you can't let Preece. Preece has been really good. Like,
he's been amazing. He's definitely exceeded my expectations.
And he's had a second place wiped off of his record too. Yeah. For a DQ. But I mean, you look at, what's funny is you look at the top 10, and I can't help but just crack a little bit of a smile, because you've got Briscoe 3rd and started on the pole. You got Preece, you got Gregson, and you got Josh Berry right there in 12th.
Yeah.
it's like, and that team could not buy a top 10 last year,
right?
For Stewart-Haas Racing. And look at all 4 of their drivers.
Yeah.
That's a good, they had the drivers, man. That just goes to show you. I mean, these guys are all pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So back to Ross Chastain.
Yeah. We got to talk more Ross, because we can't just breeze by.
What, he's outperforming his equipment.
Oh,
right?
by far.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely better than the equipment he's in.
Oh yeah, data will tell you that absolutely is true.
He's definitely one of the top drivers this season so far. Is he a potential Alex Bowman replacement down the road? Can you see?
Oh wow!
Did you see Hendrick jumping on him?
Maybe,
because you mentioned Bowman. Bowman, I think you said
Bowman drives me crazy.
I think you said it before we started recording, but Bowman's been trash.
He's been trash. He's driving me crazy.
He's signed through 2026, but we know that doesn't matter, right?
He's driving me nuts this year, man.
And
I don't know if they're just snake bit or what, but
how long is Ross's contract for?
Well, I think next year. So you mentioned the teardown, but Bianchi
Ross is 2025 plus. So we just know.
Yeah.
But again, money does all the talking.
Basically what Bianchi said on the teardown was silly season this year, probably not that exciting, but watch out next year because a lot of contracts are up and there's going to be some movement. So.
I got to imagine unless Chastain can really bring in some top dogs to Trackhouse, or he just falls flat on his face, that he's going to be going somewhere else when his contract's up. Don't you think?
Well, this is what
I mean. There's only so many opportunities available, but he looks like. I mean, can you imagine Hendrick picking him up?
Well, and this is why what happened with him in 2022 was so important, because he became polarizing.
Yeah.
Fans kind of gravitated to him, and obviously he had the viral moment with the Hail Melon.
Right.
And now you've got Budweiser coming on board, and he's got the big sponsor. He's kind of underperformed. The team's underperformed for a couple of seasons now, but holy crap. Like all of a sudden, like there is a championship contender, lurking.
Well, the thing I think that makes him not a
there.
championship contender is not the driver, it's the team.
Right.
I doubt the team being able to put enough together.
That's the thing holding him back, is like you've got.
I mean, their pit crew's not going to win. They're not going to win a championship with that pit crew.
Well, here's the other thing now too. Like you've got a win in the bank. Can you work towards the playoffs now?
Yeah.
Like can you focus on, you know what? We just need 10 races. We just need we just need 9. We just need 9 good races.
That's what the system allows that you want to get rid of.
Exactly. Like, now are you at the point like, okay, guys, we got to start. We either figure out what to do with the pit crew or what, and then how can we make these cars a little bit faster?
Right.
How do you make that happen? But yeah, you're sniffing around a pretty interesting possible storyline.
Yeah. I mean that's the first thing that popped into my mind is the performance that Bowman's had. And I know every time his head's on the chopping block, he does something and it gets him another year or two.
Yeah. We're heading to Nashville.
But yeah, right.
Which he might be pretty good. We'll see.
But I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like there are going to be people looking at Ross, and there's only so many places he can go that's a step up from where he's at.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're Hendrick, like you've got Ally as one of the only, like basically they're 36 races a year for that car. That there's not many of those in the entire sport. So
you've got Anheuser-Busch that if Anheuser-Busch latches on to Chastain,
well, that's
he's got to go anywhere. Right? He could go anywhere, right?
Yeah. It's like, do you keep Bowman with one sponsor for 36 races, or do you like, hey, Ross, come on over for 26 and we'll figure out the other 10, it's, it's not to say it's a toss up. But what Ross is doing this year should be like, the garage is probably buzzing a little bit now about like, okay, well, now we got to start taking Ross a little bit more seriously. Like we thought maybe he was going away. He's not going away now.
The other thing to consider too is if he continues to overperform his equipment, does that Anheuser-Busch sponsorship become more expensive? Because I would assume they got in a lot cheaper than what they were on the 4-car for Harvick, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, with Trackhouse. Yeah. Yep.
So who knows?
That's good speculation though. Yeah. And it's
early. This is certainly, like you said, this is not a next year thing. But he's got to be building that resume and opportunity to go somewhere.
Well, but I think.
And before you go, I hope that Trackhouse can capitalize on this.
Well, and
build their team around him and become a stronger team.
That's where I'm going. I think Ross is really, really happy with that crew, with that group. And Shane Van Gisbergen said, like, Ross is our leader. Like, he's the rock of the team. And maybe it's better to be the 1 at Trackhouse than the 4 at Hendrick, Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. You become the Chase Elliott over at Hendrick, where you're the most popular driver, but nobody even pays attention to you because there's 2 guys that are outperforming you every week.
And then you got to deal with, like you can go toe to toe with Byron and Larson from time to time in your own stuff, or you can try to do it with the same stuff.
Yeah.
And
Or-
it can be a little.
Maybe instead of being
tougher.
in the Chase Elliott situation, maybe you're in the Alex Bowman situation where they're looking for your head every year.
That's
so
I mean, there's always the fourth Hendrick car, man. Remember that's
Yeah,
been
that's true.
been the thing, you know.
That's true. I mean, like I said, I like where he's at, and I want Trackhouse, which Trackhouse did seem to be on an upswing, and then they recessed. But you know, there's another car at Trackhouse that's probably looking at some changes in the next year or two as well. So maybe that improves the team as well. But
I saw a rumor that there's going to be an opening at Trackhouse, but it's not the one you think. And I kind of was like, huh? I looked at that. I'm like, Shane Gisbert's going to leave?
Shane, right?
Well, that's what they were hinting at. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, unless maybe he's like, well, I did my year here and
yeah, it was fun. And now I can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? Interesting. Good
SVG.
stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Man, but I know we're going to move on, but before we do, man, kudos to Ross Chastain and that whole team. I will remember that race for many reasons.
Yeah. But
the fear that's that consumed me with 15 laps to go. I won't forget that. It's just like that, like a nightmare for me. But I was like, God dang it, dude. When you're on one like that and you do it the right way.
Yeah.
Tip of the cap, man. I'm not going to take that away from you. That was strong. You went toe to toe with the fastest car of the whole weekend, and you beat him straight up. So
I knew eventually you'd become a Ross Chastain fan. You'd come around.
No, listen. It's more fun.
I can't wait for you to be wearing the watermelon hat. That's
no,
what
I won't be ever. I won't ever do that. It's fun to have villains. This is what I've been saying. This is exactly what I've been saying, man. It is fun to have the opposite of what you like do good, because now we've got something cooking here.
I need to go on your social media and pull a headshot off, because I think there's and put you next to Ross, because there's some similarities there that
I think his teeth are better than mine. No, he keeps the head shaved like I do too, and the beard.
Maybe that's what it is.
He's a little skinnier than I am too. Yeah. No, Ross is he's a polarizing character, man, and it's just more like I hopped on the call today and I was fired up because it's fun when you've got I don't know, he brings a lot of energy, and whether you love him or hate him, I mean that's the old Dale Earnhardt saying, right?
Yep.
It's cheer him or boo him, as long as they're making noise. Everybody makes noise about Ross Chastain. So
can I just say
it's fun to have him around.
Yes, I have rooted for Ross Chastain more over the last few years because I know you don't like him.
Because he drives me crazy.
But I just want to say that I have been on Chastain's side, other than using the nickname once earlier this season.
Yeah, you did, not me. I didn't do it.
But I've been following the Ross Chastain train for a while since he got screwed out of a ride with DC Solar. The guy has proven multiple times that he's got talent. Like you said, he's dialing it in now. I honestly still like the old out of control Ross Chastain too, but I was a Kyle Busch fan back when he was like that too. So, I just want to state that I've been following this train for a while. So welcome aboard.
I don't need to be welcomed aboard.
At least you're recognizing the talent now.
Well, that's the thing.
The watermelon thing is a little screwy. When he's on the front stretch trying to sell watermelons, it's like, dude, you are now a championship contender. Why are you trying to sell watermelons?
What was the word I used when I was messaging you after the race?
I don't know.
I know what I said. I said, I'm not going to sit here and watch him desecrate the front stretch. That watermelon. You know what? I'm gonna do something on the podcast. I'm just thinking about this right now. I'm gonna retire the nickname.
Oh, nice.
I'm putting it on the shelf.
Nice.
He's advanced beyond my nickname for him. So,
and I appreciate you not saying the nickname, so I don't have to find it and bleep it.
That's for you to say. That's for you to say. You're the one who says it, not me.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come out again.
Now, if he wrecks somebody, I reserve the right to bring it back. But I won't say it anymore until he proves me wrong. How's that?
There you go. Do we want to talk any more about the Larson situation? Obviously, he's kind of implied that he's not planning on doing it again. At least at this point.
Not as a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, he says he would like to run the Indy 500 again, but the double he acknowledges is very difficult, and it is very difficult to do. There were conspiracy theories floated. Was it on a teardown that they floated the conspiracy? Oh, no, it was Hamlin's podcast floated conspiracies that that they were trying that the McLaughlin wreck was intentional to try and screw Larson over so he couldn't finish the race. I know, right?
God, I hate the internet, man.
I know, but
nobody knows what they're talking about.
I mean, it's tough. There's not a very big window. And I mean, props to everybody for putting the window back, because for many years the window wasn't there at all. But man, I wish these two sanctioning bodies could work something out to make it a little bit more doable.
I don't disagree with you, but man, Eric, we've got something that is really, really freaking hard to do.
Yeah.
And I almost hate to be like, you know what? Let's make it a little bit easier, because I told you this, when NASCAR, and listen, I texted you this when I was wearing my Kyle Larson hat. So the irony does not strike me that hard. But when they said that he didn't have to go to the back of the field, I was actually mad. I was like, okay, that's like, we gotta quit babying these people as much as possible.
I have an argument for that. I'm gonna disagree with you again, just because that's okay. That's what we do.
That's what we need to do.
But I'm 100% serious with this. If this was 5 years ago, I would agree with you. But after COVID, the drivers' meeting is not a drivers' meeting anymore.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It is literally a meet and greet. It's something for the fans to go see, the VIPs to go see the drivers. It is not what the drivers' meeting used to be. There is no information they get at the drivers' meeting that they don't get prior to the drivers' meeting. So in my opinion, it's a formality anyway, and I think I give NASCAR, if NASCAR wouldn't, people were bitching again this year, James, that NASCAR needs to hold up the start of the 600 because
you can't.
And if you're going to go on that storyline, then certainly he doesn't need to be there for the drivers meeting. And I'm good with him keeping the position. I don't have an issue with it. So my question for you is what makes the double difficult the time, or is it running 1,100 miles in a day? I don't think the part that makes it difficult, or the part that makes it intriguing, is the limited amount of time between the two races.
Well, the weather.
I think it's more than that number of miles. I think if there was, honestly, I think if they raced the Indy 500 at 9 in the morning and started the Coke 600 at 8 at night, I don't think it would make a difference. I still think it would be just as much of an accomplishment to run both of them, especially completing all the laps. I don't think that the time between the two races is that important to me.
Yeah.
Maybe you disagree, but I don't think that's what makes it a spectacle.
Well,
I'm not saying that it needs to be that big of a gap, but
it's a spectacle because of the travel in between, and the, you've got one person trying to get one place and do both, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
I also think that as we have gone on in these last 2 years, I do think that Stewart's record has become more and more of the, like, is this achievable? Because you see how Hendrick markets this thing, and they marketed it. They were the first ones to market this as 1,100. That had never been done with, like, Robbie Gordon wasn't marketing himself as doing the 1,100.
Right.
That's on.
Well, nobody really talked about
running
all the laps until Tony did it.
Yeah,
it was just running the two races. It wasn't completing all the laps.
It was just trying to be part of both races. But now I think the further we get away from what.
But then
Tony
again,
did,
I mean, really, Tony was the first driver to do it that really had a shot at both races, right?
Well, and he was good. He was good in both cars.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Robbie Gordon, nobody was expecting Robbie Gordon to win one of the races, let alone both.
And the thing I think that people got excited about this year is we saw Larson finish Indy last year, and we thought, man, if he can do that, and he's really good in the Cup car, like he could actually do this thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just, You got to think about this too, man. There are so many things going on in both of these racetracks, and so many cars, and so many factors, and so much weather. It's just the entirety of this task.
Well, and then Trump talked about coming to the Indy 500. That would have put a kibosh on everything.
Oh, it would have been terrible. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know. It would have been terrible. Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
but I think I do think that Larson doing this was a net positive for everybody.
Oh, 100%.
I think he played a part in the Indy 500 having the ratings that it did.
I agree.
People wanted to see
I
what
actually
he could do.
thought, I mean, I wanted to make Fox my black flag again this week, but I've done it so many times that I decided not to.
Can't do it anymore.
Because their coverage of the Indy 500 was god awful, but they did not talk about him enough. Yeah. They didn't focus on him enough.
Yeah.
It took like my kids were watching, and they were looking at the score bug when it worked, and trying to figure out where Larson was because they weren't talking about him.
It's crazy.
And there you go. My kids watched part of the Indy 500 because they knew Kyle Larson was racing in it. So
you had to see it. Yeah.
So, and they didn't even watch NASCAR really, but they know who Kyle Larson is.
I mean, yeah,
they knew it was a big deal.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I just think. Man,
I hope IndyCar enjoys Fox. You know,
I
hope they enjoy them because
they got what they. I know they're touting their ratings, and lifting a local blackout will probably get you some more viewers too.
That does help. But that helps. That race was trash. Their coverage was trash.
And Fox, listen, man, they did all the Fox things. They almost missed the green flag.
Yeah.
They didn't.
I laughed so hard when they almost missed the green flag.
They didn't do the checkered flag thing that they normally would do.
Can I say they did one thing right, James? They had Tony Stewart there.
Yeah, they did, and he helped with Gronk.
Yeah,
and somebody else was there.
Of course, they had to have the Michael Waltrip character.
Oh, Gronk's the best. I love.
I know I like Gronk too, but
Danica was there. Ugh.
I enjoyed Tom Brady being scared to death to get in the two-seater.
Oh my God! And Jimmy did the double. Jimmy was there.
I tell you what, Jimmy talking on Hauler Talk last week about how nervous Tom Brady was pretty good.
Yeah, he talked a little bit about it on his Never Settle podcast too.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I listened to Never Settle.
Yeah, he was talking about it a little bit too on that. But he did the rounds. But he said Tom Brady posted a picture and he said. I was laughing. He's like, it was great to have one more successful drive in front of a bunch of Colts fans, and I was like, that's a great Tom Brady joke.
That's funny.
Tom Brady dad joke.
I like Tom Brady.
He's the best.
I wanted to hate him, but I like him.
I know. See, there's another one I flipped you on.
Yeah,
see?
he's a good dude.
Look, you've got me liking Ross Chastain a little bit more. I've got you liking Tom Brady. We're all kumbaya.
Yeah. Yep. I suppose.
Everybody love everybody.
So has anybody tried the double next year?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to stop for a little while.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't go as long as it did last time, but.
Yeah, 10 years between Kurt Busch and Kyle Larson.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't go that long, but couple year break. We don't want it to be an every year thing. I almost didn't like it. What's that?
I wish Rowdy could do it.
I know.
I really would like to see Kyle get his name on the list.
Yeah. I honestly wasn't. I was bummed that Larson didn't get to do what he wanted to do last year, but I also wasn't a giant fan of the 2-year thing. It's cool. It's cool that it's a one-off, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
6th victory in 236 Cup Series starts for Ross Chastain in the Coca-Cola 600. Only 6, James. Only 6.
Still
but there's
early,
more coming. Shane Van Gisbergen.
There it is.
Yeah,
clip that.
Yeah. Here we go.
Shane Van Gisbergen.
There you go. He was the highest finishing rookie, 14th. And William Byron's points leader, 29 points over said Kyle Larson in the Cup Series. There you go. There's the Coca-Cola 600.
In a nutshell.
Best race of the weekend. Well,
race of the year so far.
Sorry, best race of Sunday.
It won again.
I would argue that Xfinity race was pretty damn good.
Xfinity race was good, yeah.
So, speaking of which, BetMGM 300. Speaking of William Byron gets the win. Swept the stages.
He almost got the 900. I guess you call it that. Yeah.
Swept the stages. And if you looked at the finish and saw that he swept the stages and led 71 laps, you'd be like, oh, he dominated the race. But no, he had to come from behind at the end to get the win. and battled his way back up there and sealed the deal. Good race for him.
Yeah. It was fun to watch. It's always fun to watch that 17 car.
Yeah.
Go to work. You know, he hasn't won. I didn't know this. He hadn't won in the Xfinity Series since 2017.
That's crazy.
Where he won the championship.
Yep.
That was it. That was it.
Now, to be fair, Justin Allgaier went back to his old ways and gave this one away. 100% on him gave this one away.
You are what you are.
Not saying that William Byron wouldn't have still won this race. He probably would have. But Justin Allgaier not pitting at the end just sealed his fate.
Yep.
And totally his decision. Why the hell he did that, I have no idea. And I think it was Denny said it on his podcast. He said, you know, that's why you have a crew chief. You know, They've got more information, way more data in front of them than you do. Go with the crew chief, what the crew chief tells you to do. So,
yeah, God, he just can't help himself.
No.
The other guy the guy who won on Friday, he typically does these things too, but didn't do it. Didn't do it that time.
Yeah, except that one hasn't all been him. This was 100% on Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, well, Justin. I mean, I can't defend him. I mean, I'm not gonna try.
Unless you want to, I'm not going to go into detail on this race. It was a good race.
I think we're good. No, we had a lot of racing this weekend. I think we're okay.
Fifth victory in 43 Xfinity Series races for William Byron. It's amazing that he's run that few Xfinity Series races. Highest finishing rookie was Connor Zilic in second. And Justin Allgaier, despite stepping on his tail, is 71 points in the lead over Austin Hill in the Xfinity Series. And you teased the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 Craftsman Truck Series race on Friday night. Corey Heim gets the win in this one. Finally seals the deal. Sweeps the race. Good run for old Corey Heim. There was something I was going to say about this race, and I don't remember what the hell it was. Ross Chastain was in this one and finished second.
There you go.
Yeah.
There was, you know what? There was something with this Corey Heim win. What was it? I gotta remember. I gotta look at it.
I don't remember either.
Oh, I have an interesting stat. I got you. Corey Heim. Hold on. I gotta find the number. Shoot. Hold on. Give me filibuster for me.
Oh, filibuster. Okay. Kyle Busch was in this race as well. Fifth place finish for Kyle. Fifth and third in the stages. Not really a very impressive run necessarily for Kyle. You kind of expect him to be up front and winning. Brandon Jones ran this race as well. He finished 10th.
Didn't Kyle say that he's used to having a faster truck or something like that?
Probably. They're his trucks. I mean, technically.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. All right, here it is. Here's the stat. Ready? All right. So this is the 15th career victory for Corey Heim, which is just ridiculous.
Right.
He's been
doing that's what it was. Yes, thank you.
Okay, I got you. I think I know where we're going.
Yeah.
15th victory for Corey Heim in 75 career starts. Matt Crafton has 15 career victories in the Truck Series and has 578 starts. He has over 500 more starts than Corey Heim in the same amount of wins. I thought that was incredible. Well, that was an incredible stat.
Fox did something during the broadcast and actually did something well for a change. And compared him at his age and number of races to Kyle Busch. And Corey Heim is pretty much right on par with what Kyle Busch did in the Truck Series.
He's fast, dude. He's a really good Truck Series driver right now.
We probably should get really familiar with this name. Really familiar with it, because I have a feeling he's going to win some in the Cup Series very soon.
I have a feeling he's going to be in the Cup Series very, very soon.
Oh, I think if he's not in a Cup car next year, I'll be shocked.
Man, the Cup
I think
Series
he's going to be in a.
features-
I think he's going to be. I think I can. If I close my eyes and I rub my temples, I see the number 35.
Yeah,
that's the one I see.
That's the good one.
I think that's where Corey Heim ends up next year.
How great is the future of the Cup Series with a couple of these guys? Man, we've got Heim. Connor Zilic was in the 600. I mean, man. And we've still got a lot of time left for William Byron and Ryan Blaney. And, man, we've just got...
We are not lacking for talent.
really good drivers that are still, younger than 30. Like, it's... Man, there's a lot of talent that's coming.
Yes, there is.
I mean, Carson Hocivar. I didn't even say that name. Good.
Right.
Good
I know.
Lord, man.
I was thinking him.
Those guys are all going to win races in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
So
how about somebody like Ben Rhodes, James? Is Ben Rhodes destined to be in the Truck Series for his whole career?
He might be.
I kind of have that feeling as well. I saw a lot of potential there, but I mean, he's with one of the best teams in the series, and just mediocre. I mean, I know he won the championship, but
turnover. I think the other thing is like turnover in the Cup Series is not super high, so there eventually becomes a log jam. But like right now, we've had a little bit of a glut. But you're gonna see like Riley Herbst isn't gonna stick around. I mean he'll be a really good. He could be a really good Xfinity Series driver for a long time. I just don't see him sticking around in Cup at this point.
No, he's gonna
like,
Daniel Hemrick it.
Yeah, but eventually Denny Hamlin's going to have to go, just because of age, not talent. Like Denny Hamlin should keep driving, I think, for another couple of years. He's been pretty stout.
I mean, he seems to be almost at his peak right now. I certainly wouldn't hang it up right now.
Yeah, he's still doing fine. But like Daniel Suarez could be in trouble. There's a few openings that are going to be coming. It's just when and where. And for Ben, it's like, okay, well, if not you, then who? And I feel like the Truck Series guys could leapfrog some Xfinity Series guys, but that's such a hard hill to climb.
Yeah. And the thing with the Cup Series too is that you don't see a lot of Cup drivers losing rides to go to lesser rides in the Cup Series because there aren't any.
Right.
You lose your ride in the Cup Series, you're going back down to Xfinity or Truck. Yep. There is no option to stay in the series and continues.
Correct.
I mean, the last one to really do it was Eric Jones.
Yep.
I just don't see it as much of an opportunity anymore. I guess you can technically say Kyle Larson did it, but a little different situation.
Yep.
So yeah, it's there's a long line of very talented drivers ready to fill those seats, and they're not all going to succeed when they get there either. So
right.
Frankie Muniz, you think he's got a shot getting the Cup Series? 27th place finish. He did beat Ty Majeski and Chandler Smith in this race. You
know what? He didn't crash. He was a few laps down, but stay out of trouble. Yeah. Hey, stay out of trouble. That's all right.
There you go.
That's all right.
Nobody else caused an accident that he got involved in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nobody else ruined his day.
Yeah. Chandler Smith from first to worst.
Yeah.
Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. But that really feels like Chandler Smith to me. I don't know.
That sounds like, that sounds about right.
Corey Heim, 15th victory in 75 Craftsman Truck Series races. 4th victory and 9th top 10 finish this year. It's his first victory and 2nd top 10 finish in 3 races at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Andres Perez de Lara, whatever.
Clip that one too.
Yeah. He was the highest finishing rookie in 16th. Corey Heim's points leader, 100 points over Chandler Smith.
Oh man, good stuff.
There you go. We talked about the Indy 500 a little bit, but Alex Palou gets the win. First win on an oval in the Indy 500. He's won every race but one so far this season in IndyCar.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, on quite a streak there. Can I say nice to see Penske not win the Indy 500?
After that week, yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Anything else with the Indy 500 worth really discussing? Record crowd, record crowd for recently.
I mean, that was a fun first half of the race. Like it was just wild.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a good show.
It wasn't my favorite, but yeah, it was. I love the Indy 500. I love the spectacle. If you don't get chills during back home again in Indiana,
I thought you were locked in because I said I'm turning it off for a little while, and you were sticking with it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't shut anything off. I watched everything.
Dude, I watched so much racing. I needed a little bit of a break, just a little bit.
So let me think.
Oh my God, I had racing on all day.
Some of because I started the F1 race late, so I skipped some of the F1 race, which I missed absolutely nothing. I just skipped through. But other than that, I watched. Everything was live, and I watched all the way through.
Terrible race.
My God, yeah. First of all,
congratulations to baby Lando.
Yeah, last racing Christmas with Monaco moving. Good riddance. I mean, this F1 was like, man, last year the race really wasn't very good. Let's see how we can make it worse. And they succeeded.
Add a pit stop, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely succeeded. Nothing
and
like
the teams. Figured it out.
Yeah, nothing like the teams just sticking it to them and saying, well, if you're going to manipulate stuff, then we're going to manipulate too. And just freaking ruining this dumpster fire of a race.
Here's the thing I had, and F1 and NASCAR both do this, but it's like you have the smartest people thinking about this stuff all day, and the best you can come up with is we're just going to do 2 pit stops.
Yeah.
Like the teams aren't going to strategize around it.
Right.
Like Lando's not going to, and then.
Or better yet, they learned that the 30-second penalty that you get for not making a pit stop is better than getting stuck behind somebody, so they just don't pit twice.
Yeah, and then you've got the Williams cars like backing up the entire grid, which is just, I'm just like, what in the hell? Like
it was so ridiculous.
I tell you what, though, it's great. This is the best part about it, though. Just put it on and don't watch. Just listen to it.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was watching it, but I was just kind of like, the F1 race is on. I watched it for a while, knew what the result was going to be, finally turned it off. Then I watched the Indy 500.
Right.
I was like, okay, Larson crashed. I'll take a break and then watch the last 10 laps.
I mean, really, all you needed to do was watch the first turn. Man, if the leader made it through the first turn, the race was over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I will say, I will never not be impressed by people not wrecking at Monaco. I mean,
it's ridiculous. I mean, it's the hardest course to drive in the video game too.
It's freaking insane. It's so impressive how close they are to those barriers. Monaco is a spectacle because of the track that it's at, not because of the racing. Because the racing is garbage, and this was probably the worst Monaco. I don't know, the year the guy won with the blowing motor, that was pretty bad. when he had motor issues the entire race and still won the race.
It's ridiculous.
But I mean, this was awful. This was an awful race.
I mean, it's not like any other I mean, every other F1 race is about the same.
They're all kind of, everybody wants pure racing, James. NASCAR needs to be pure racing like F1.
Yeah. Well, sure. That's fine. That's fine.
What do you think? So the teardown floated the talk that they want to run Canada next year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Same day.
Circuit Villeneuve.
Going right up against the Indy 500.
Dude, I think that would be so funny.
Yeah.
They'd get creamed.
They get creamed in the US. They won't get creamed worldwide though. The Indy 500 will suffer worldwide.
You know what would be funny is if somebody attempted the double, but it was an F1 car. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. The best part about Sunday is that the fact that the race starts. You've got a race on in the morning. You got a race on right at noon, and then at night you got the 600. I don't know.
I don't feel like I'll miss this one. I've watched the F1 race multiple times because I feel like I have to, because if I'm going to watch all of them, I got to watch them all, I won't miss this race being on. And this has always been the outlier of.
Oh yeah. It's the child of the.
Yeah. I mean, to me, as big of a NASCAR fan as I am, the Indy 500 is the race on Memorial Day weekend. And then everything else is an afterthought, but the Formula One is really an afterthought. But if I have to miss a race, if I have to watch a race live, it's the Indy 500, because the Indy 500 is one of a couple races a year. The Daytona 500 is another one where I might get an alert from CNN on my phone saying so-and-so won the Indy 500,
Yeah.
Otherwise I can avoid social media and not miss or not see who won the race without watching it live. So anyway, I give Racing Christmas a solid B- this year. Overall, B-.
A+.
Screw that. No. Because this race was like a D, and I'd say the Indy 500 was probably like a.
Yeah, but you know what happens in
B.
school? You drop the lowest grade.
And then the 600 was definitely an A+. I mean, I'm good with that. No, okay, James. Make the argument for me, because I know you want to. Should we race at Charlotte Oval twice a year?
Oh, that's the whole junior thing.
Yeah.
Well, Bianchi's really beating that drum home.
I know.
Too. I would rather see the oval. I think they should go back to the oval.
No.
I think they should.
No.
I know.
I don't care if we keep racing at the Roval, but I don't want to race at Charlotte Oval twice. I don't want to have second races at ovals anymore.
This race car is just so good on 1.5 miles.
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
If we only raced at tracks that were good, if we only based our schedule off of the good tracks, you know how many tracks would lose dates?
I know.
We'd race at Atlanta like 8 times a year. We'd race at Talladega a couple.
Chicago, Atlanta would be back.
Yeah,
blah,
I mean,
blah, blah.
it's just
I know.
You have to have races that aren't as good too, and you know why the Indy 500 is special? Because it's a great race, and they run that track once a year, and that's it. I know
because they
do the
road
course and stuff like that. Whatever, that doesn't count. It's a different track. Hence the Roval. It's a different track, but they race the oval at Indianapolis once a year. It is a spectacle. It gets done, and 9 times out of 10, you're going, man, I can't wait for the next one, and you got to wait a year, and that's what Charlotte should be too. It's a 600-mile race. It's the longest race of the year. You should have to wait a year for the next one. Period.
Good. All right.
So, and if they want to race there twice, then race the Roval. If they don't, give North Wilkesboro points race. I don't care, whatever you got to do, but we're not racing at Charlotte twice.
That was a really good race.
It was. I'm with you, and I'll tell you what, a 400-mile race on that track would be even better.
I know it'd be great.
But no,
it's all good.
No,
it's fine.
But boy, would I love to see the Charlotte Oval in the playoffs again. You know,
I said my
but you can't move the 600.
Yours. No, you can't move the 600.
But
no, absolutely not.
We learned our lesson with the Southern 500. Don't move those races.
Just leave them alone. Yep.
NASCAR did the right thing last year by not moving the Southern 500 to fix the playoffs with the Olympic break. So good on them.
Exactly.
Anything else with Racing Christmas before we talk some news, James?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Racing Christmas is done.
We got a couple contract extensions this week.
Yep.
Kyle Busch, another year for RCR. A lot of bummed noises from that one from people.
I let out a sigh.
I don't. You know, if you're Kyle though, man, if you can put Richard Childress Racing on your shoulders and revive it, like that's bigger than a Daytona 500 win. You know what I mean?
Like, that's a pretty big mountain.
I know, but how cool would that be if he could do it?
It's going the wrong
direction.
direction.
I'm watching that Earnhardt documentary, and as I'm watching that thing, I'm like, yes, Kyle, yes, you sign there and you stick with him. Earnhardt stuck with him, and look what it got. 7 champions.
Oh God, I thought you were going dark there.
No, sorry, no, I'm not going there.
Okay, all right.
Not what I meant. No.
My face.
Wow. No, he got 7 championships, James. That's what I was talking about.
Yes, he did.
And a Daytona 500 win.
And a Daytona 500. Yes.
No, good.
Yes, all good things.
And then of course William Byron signs 4 more years with Hendrick Motorsports.
That was a no-brainer.
Oh, 100%. Like if you don't lock him up, man, right now, that would be stupid.
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, he's the.
If you had to choose as Rick Hendrick between Kyle Larson and William Byron, who are you picking?
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Man, they're like the same thing.
I'd pick William Byron.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're gonna get more years out of William. That's
the
sure.
thing.
Oh man.
I'd pick Ross Chastain. That's who I'd pick.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, fortunately, Rick Hendrick doesn't have to make the decision.
He doesn't have to worry about that. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I know you're high on Byron. I've been high on Byron.
He's the best of the young guys. I still consider him one of the. I know he's been doing this a while now, but like if you're looking at like the youngest talent, like if he's like the oldest guy in that group, he's still the best one.
Dude, I still look at Kyle Busch as the young guy.
Yeah, I know.
I have such a hard time with the fact that he's 40 years old.
I know. These guys are getting old. I mean, God, man.
That they're talking about freaking retirement in his press conference. Like, my God.
I remember you and I were texting and we were talking about Dale Earnhardt or something or another, and I said, yeah, it's been a long time. We watched the guy who replaced him have a Hall of Fame career and retire.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, you're right. I'm like, yeah,
that hurt, man.
It's sobering.
That hurt.
I remember Kevin Harvick being young and feisty.
Yeah, me too.
And now he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's going to be soon.
He's one of the wise old veterans.
Yep.
We hinted at it already, but big news out of Indianapolis. Not directly NASCAR related, but indirectly potentially. Bunch of top guys at Penske get the axe after little cheating scandal.
Another cheating scandal,
which apparently involved allegedly the winner of the race last year.
Yeah.
I saw a video where the guy is standing next to the car and says, "Can't confirm that the illegal attenuator was on the car when it won, but it is on the car in the museum." So,
yep.
Yeah.
And they had the push to pass controversy last year.
Yeah. Yep. So,
man,
obviously Tim Cindric is the big one. He had already been removed from the NASCAR stuff he was doing over in IndyCar, but that brings up big questions for Austin Cindric. Austin says his future hasn't changed. He's got a contract. He's good to go. Do you think that this makes his future a little less bright over there, or has he done enough to seal his deal over there? And
I think he's probably fine. I think he's going to be he's going to be fine as long as he's doing what he's doing. He's winning races, he's in the playoffs. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I would say he doesn't have anything to worry about. Now, when it comes to contract renewal time, maybe that happens, but I think he's going to be okay.
Cindric is signed through 2026 ? According to J-Ski. So
yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay for now.
I think the fact that he's got the extra deal or extra year is a good thing. But I agree. I think he's proven himself. I think he's proven himself to us on this podcast. I think we've come around on him finally.
Yeah, he's as good as, I mean, listen, everybody at Penske plus Josh Berry has a win except for Ryan Blaney. That's
right.
I mean, he's getting the job done. So
yeah,
that's what you ask him to do. He's going to do it.
Yeah.
Now, again, like, I just don't think Roger Penske operates that way. I think Tim Cindric was around for a long time, built up a lot of different things within NASCAR and IndyCar, and there had to be a fall guy, and it wasn't going to be Roger. So
right.
I don't think Austin has to really worry about that.
I don't think so either. I mean, Penske's always been kind of a long-term guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't mess around with like loyalty.
No.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, he might have, like, Tim might be gone, but Austin Cindric hasn't done anything to,
right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I guess the question just becomes like how much of Austin's position, like how much of Austin getting a ride there in the first place involved his dad getting him into that position. That would be the question mark. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't feel like that something like that happens at a Team Penske. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. I have enough respect for the organization. I mean, let's give Roger Penske. I mean, what else is he going to do? But let's give him some props. Like he's doing an interview with Jamie Little about the cheating thing at Indy and like laying it all out there, man, and acknowledging the fact like he's hands off on the team. He doesn't, because he's the series owner and it just I felt like he didn't have to get out there and do that interview. Obviously, he's going to do what's best for him from a PR standpoint, but and I'm sure that, man, I can't imagine that Fox and Jamie Little are throwing him any real curveballs in that interview. I mean, it's all to prop him up, right?
Yeah, she did kind of push him a little bit, but not anything major.
Yeah,
wasn't too terribly serious. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a little bit of a fluff piece, but it's still not anything. I don't think that's the worst thing that he's ever done. I mean, he's so highly respected that those stains on the resume, as minor as they'll be years and years from now, he's not going to have that. He's not going to tolerate that. Nope. So, got to go. Somebody's got to go.
Yep, I agree. Heads have to roll, and like you said, it won't be Rogers.
That's right.
After we recorded last week, we got the Hall of Fame vote and announcement. New to the Hall of Fame in 2026, Kurt Busch, Harry Gant, Ray Hendrick, Humpy Wheeler are the other two, but the modern era, Kurt Busch and Harry Gant. Kurt Busch, first ballot Hall of Famer. That's a given if you got a championship, right? I mean,
a championship, Daytona 500, did everything. Yeah,
his resume was there. Unless you end up in the the Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon type years, someone like Kurt Busch is going to get in with no thought whatsoever.
Yeah, the fact that Jimmy and Jeff were not unanimous still bothers me, but that's okay.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
The fact that Jimmy and Jeff were not 100% shows that nobody should ever be 100%.
Well, everybody, some people should.
Yeah, well. Harry Gant, what do you think of Harry Gant getting in?
Oh, I love Harry Gant getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handsome
Harry Gant.
Handsome Harry, man.
Yep.
The original Highline Harry,
High, wide, and handsome Harry Gant.
Yep. The line that Kyle Larson runs would not be possible without Harry Gant.
Harry Gant showing him the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He was
Mr. September, right?
Yeah, Mr. September. What was it, 4 in a row, right?
Yeah.
Under some strenuous circumstances.
Yeah.
Harry Gant was one of the first. So like when I know you were a little bit before me, but when I was a kid, Harry Gant was in his 50s, still winning races.
Right?
Yeah, and he was one of the drivers that I knew from so many different things, like obviously on the racetrack, but also Days of Thunder.
Yep.
He had a little moment in Days of Thunder, and I loved that 33 car.
Yeah.
And man, I remember Harry Gant, being in the Brickyard 400. Like he wanted to race the Brickyard 400 that first year, and that was the end of his career.
Yep.
Just a cool. I don't know. I thought it was just a pretty cool to get him in. I mean, 18 career wins. He was no slouch.
21 wins in the Xfinity Series. That's what I remember him from, is all the Xfinity Series races he competed in.
Yeah, he was Mark Martin before Mark Martin too. Like,
yeah,
he finished,
between running in the Xfinity Series and running late in the age.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he was 51 and 52 and finished 4th in the points both years.
Yeah,
with 7 wins, and he was one of the guys.
4 top 5 finishes in the points. Second to Terry Labonte in 1984.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he had a bunch.
How many
good.
kids do you think started chewing skull because of Harry Gant? Right?
Yeah, he had the best commercials for that too.
Yeah. Telling you,
dude,
back when you could do that.
I remember his race car diecast, and it was the coolest race car diecast.
It's a good looking race car.
Yeah, but it didn't have the sponsor on it because of the thing, and I just thought it was the coolest looking race car. So yeah, I love Harry Gant getting in.
Yep. Justin Marks would have had that old Skull Bandit out at Darlington 2 years ago, but NASCAR wouldn't let him do it.
God, the Skull Bandit.
Yep. It's
one of the great sponsors.
One of the iconic paint schemes.
He drove that car for a long time.
Yep. Yes, he did.
He was. I'm looking at it now. He was the Skull Bandit. Hold on. He was in the Skull Bandit in 1981, and he raced that son of a gun all the way to 1994.
Yep.
That's unbelievable.
Yep. Good stuff.
Man. Harry Gant.
Ray Hendrick, I'm not super familiar with Ray Hendrick, but Mr. Modified.
Yeah.
700 modified and late model sportsman wins between 1950 and 1988. Good induction for him. Very cool.
Yep.
And obviously Humpy Wheeler, we're very familiar with what Humpy Wheeler's done in his career.
Well, you could argue Humpy Wheeler is one of the most important people in the history of the sport.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like, as far as, like,
I don't think you have to argue it.
Yeah, I think on the marketing and promotional side of things, like, he's the promoter you think of.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of promoters at this level that you really think of, and that, like, Eddie Gossage is up there too. But Humpy was the first one. He's like, if Humpy was like Bill Parcells, Eddie Gossage was Bill Belichick. Like that's there's like lineage there. But Humpy Wheeler, I mean, he was instrumental in getting Earnhardt going. He was one of those guys. I mean,
well, not only that, but he put sweets in at a NASCAR track before anybody thought of doing it. Those sweets are still in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
The amazing pre-race that you get at Coke 600 every year is the brainchild of Humpy Wheeler. I mean,
well, you saw the helicopters at the Indianapolis 500. Yeah. Where do you think that kind of stuff originated?
Right.
Humpy Wheeler.
They used to stack cars in the infield and jump buses into them and all that stuff too. I mean, the Charlotte was known for its pre-race ceremonies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids today won't know Humpy Wheeler. I'm glad that I do.
Yeah,
he was.
They don't know him, but his fingerprints are on freaking everything.
Yeah, yep.
Especially at SMI.
That's why it's important that he's in the Hall of Fame because he's a one of one. There has never been another Humpy Wheeler.
Yep, definitely.
That's why you have a Hall of Fame. You put guys like that in.
100%.
Yep.
Good deal. I mean, we kind of passed over Kurt for the most part, but
Kurt goes. What are we gonna say about Kurt Busch?
Exactly. Kurt, the guy of multiple careers in the Cup Series. I mean, he reinvented himself, went from one of the most hated people in NASCAR to, one of the fan favorites.
Him and Kyle both have done it. Successfully.
Yeah, but Kurt, in some ways, I think Kurt was hated more than Kyle. And Kurt deserved it more than Kyle.
Oh, Kurt was bad.
Kyle was hated more because he was Kurt's brother than because of the stuff Kyle did. Not that Kyle was an angel. Kyle was trash too. But Kurt created a lot of angst against his brother.
Well, within the last year, Kurt still there's times where Kurt's demons will creep out, and like he recently had another thing where he got in trouble.
Yeah.
So
yep.
But as far as everything else he's done in his career, he has turned it all the way around.
Dude, that championship race at Homestead, when he loses the wheel coming onto pit road, like, I'm telling you, man.
His Daytona 500 was super special too.
Yeah.
Like it's a 500 you remember because man, Kurt was so good at plate racing and never could get the job done. And all of a sudden, bam, he finally got it.
Yep. Got to see that car. Got to see that car.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yep. That's a great diecast.
Still had the patch of grass on it.
Oh yeah. That car, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought, man, things were Stuart Haas were so good.
I know, right?
back then.
Yeah.
Man, Kurt Busch, and Kurt's career, the funny thing about Kurt's career is it could have ended 10 years before it did.
Yeah.
Like he was
almost dead.
His attitude was so bad.
Yep.
Like he was just being a brat to the point where it was going to cost him his career.
Yeah.
And he figured it out.
Yeah. Wasn't it Bob Pockrass that he threatened to punch in the face?
Yeah, what a great quote too.
Right.
It refrains me from punching you in the face right now.
The infamous rant with Jerry Punch.
He was the reason. Yeah. Oh God, poor Jerry Punch. But he's the biggest reason that Furniture Row ended up winning a championship.
Yeah.
Like he was the one who got that ball rolling because
there was nowhere else for him to go.
No, his career was done. He went to Furniture Row for a year, and all of a sudden that car got really fast.
Well, he went to Phoenix first.
Yep, and he was at Phoenix first, and then he went to Furniture Row.
Yep.
But that's what showed Martin Truex Jr. like, hey, there's something here that's actually not that bad when Martin needed to go somewhere. So, Kurt he's a character. Still is a character.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
I miss him though. I wish his career could have ended under better circumstances.
Same. Anytime a career is cut short due to injury, it sucks. So
yeah, I always wish he could get back out there one more time just to do it on his terms. Like Dale Jr. got to do it on his terms, even though he had issues as well. I just wish Kurt could have got that. But
yeah, I agree.
Maybe someday he will. I don't know. Maybe it's not over.
Yeah, who knows?
Jimmy Johnson's out there,
right?
Wrecking.
That's just props again to Jimmy Johnson for not caring.
He's having a blast, dude. He doesn't care.
Just go out and have fun. Nothing to prove. He's
living in Europe. Well, he's coming back home now, but he's been living in Europe, racing whenever he wants.
Yeah.
I continue to say his legacy's totally fine. He has nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no, at this point, no, he doesn't.
Just having fun.
Yeah. Hopefully he inspires some other drivers to do it. Between him doing it and Dale Jr. with his his Cars Tour stuff and everything, I think it's cool. I like seeing this stuff. Seeing these drivers comfortable. I mean, Harvick's racing at the Jeg CRA Tour this year. Love seeing those guys do that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's fun to see him still trying.
Yep. And that's it for news. Unless there's anything that broke while we're doing this podcast.
I didn't see anything on the Twitter.
All right. Checkered Flags. You got any Checkered Flags this week, James?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the Earnhardt documentary is very good.
Yeah, it's on my list.
And I'll lump that in with, I'll say Earnhardt documentary plus everything Amazon's doing my Checkered Flag. I mean, that coverage was fantastic. The streaming was just top notch. Never had an issue. I was able to jump from my TV to my phone very seamlessly. And the pre and post race, I mean, they had everything. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
They kicked Fox's butt. That was a great broadcast.
Yeah.
Dale Jr.'s back.
Yeah. I tweeted that. Like, how can we just appreciate the fact that Dale Jr.'s back in the booth?
And Letarte. Like, it's good to hear Letarte.
Those two are so good together. And Adam Alexander, I don't think gets the credit he deserves for how great of a play-by-play guy he is.
Yeah.
He's so good. Does such a great job. And he can work
Good
with
choice.
anybody. Yeah.
Well, they got, like, you've got Carl Edwards down there. And even Corey LaJoie wasn't too bad. He was the one question mark I had.
Yeah.
Danielle Trotta.
Danielle Trotta's awesome. So glad she's back in NASCAR.
Just a good crew. They got people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Professionals.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not making fun of the sport. They're not joking around. There's humor there, but they're serious.
The thing I would latched onto immediately was this feels like an event.
Yeah.
In a NASCAR
100%.
race. A NASCAR race outside of the Daytona 500 does not feel like an event very often.
The Prime intro.
It was all good.
So good. I watched it again today because they posted it on YouTube, and it gave me chills watching it again.
I would
It
dare
felt
to say,
like I was watching an intro in the 90s. Like,
yep.
It felt like we really care about this sport.
I will go as far and listen, I know the boomers are going to get upset about this.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't care if we went 100% streaming.
100%. If it's Prime.
Yes, because they don't have any of the constraints that you have to worry about with, network television. It was awesome.
Well, since you did that, I'm going to go into my black flags first before we go into my checkered flags because
go for it, man.
My black flags revolve around a couple of these things. First of all, the people bitching about the race being on streaming.
It's free right now, by the way.
First of all, you've had almost a year to figure this out and figure out where the hell it was. Like, I had somebody posted on Facebook in a comment. One of my friends posted something along the lines of, "It's only on streaming. We didn't know. Like, how nobody said anything." It's like, they've been freaking saying it every week. Like, it's been all over the place. If you didn't know,
the most popular driver in the sport is sponsored by Prime.
Exactly. If you didn't know this race was going to be on Prime, then that's your own damn fault. Secondly, I was listening yesterday to the Morning Drive, and I know you're a big fan of the Morning Drive, especially one of the members of the Morning Drive. And I don't remember which one that said it, but Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone were talking. One of the callers called in. They were doing their checkered flags and black flags, which we kind of stole for the podcast. And somebody called in and gave a checkered flag for the Prime crew and the work that they did and all the stuff, and that it's so much better than Fox and NBC. And Bagley, Mr. NBC, had to jump in and say, "Listen," which is true. Most of that production is an NBC production. Those people will be back for the NBC coverage. Those are the ones that are producing the Prime coverage. And I don't remember if it was Mike or if it was Pete Pistone. I think it was Pete. Defended one of the things that was talked about was the hour-and-a-half long post-race show, and why can't the other networks do that? And it was defended by one of those folks because Prime is streaming and they don't have a cutoff. They don't have time restraints. And I just want to call BS on that excuse. That excuse sucks because both Fox and NBC have streaming platforms. And there is no reason they can't switch to the streaming platform for the post-race show.
That's right. Yep.
There's absolutely no reason we can't do an hour-and-a-half post-race show on Peacock.
That's right.
There is not a limitation there. There's no reason the Fox Sports app cannot carry an hour-and-a-half long post-race show. So stop making that excuse. The excuse is you don't have the viewers, you don't have the support, you don't want to do it. The excuse is not because you don't have the time. Sorry.
That's right. Yep.
So there you go. There's my black flags.
That is great. That is great. It's so true.
Any other checkered flags before I jump on mine, James?
I was just going to say really quick, ESPN, when they had NASCAR's coverage, I know ESPN gets a lot of crap, but they used to cover it like this, where they would jump over to Sports Center and it would be all NASCAR for the next hour after the race.
ESPN only did a bad job when they were lame ducks. Honestly, when they found out they weren't getting the contract, then they mailed it in, and I kind of can't blame them. You know, I get it. My checkered flag, James, you're gonna love this.
Go for it.
My checkered flag is Ross Chastain. And the reason is not only in his post race interview, but as he crosses the start finish line, he yells, "The World 600."
That's what it is.
The fact that he is calling it the World 600 just made me so happy.
What a treat.
I loved it. And I'm with Dale Jr. It should be the World 600 by Coca-Cola. or Coca-Cola presents the World 600.
I think it's been the Coca-Cola 600 longer than the World 600.
It has, but that don't matter. We want
matter.
to go back to our roots. World 600. That's what this race should be. Love it.
Isn't it the Indy 500 brought to you by Greenbridge or something now?
I couldn't even tell you what the sponsor is because all I know is
when,
the Indy 500, which is why this isn't the World 600 anymore.
Do you remember when the Brickyard 400 was brought to you by Florida Georgia Line? That was that was top notch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Good Lord.
No, I mad props to Ross Chastain Ross Chastain probably wasn't even alive when it was last called the World 600.
Probably not. I know I wasn't.
So good stuff. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. I had to give him props for that. Good job, Ross.
Yes.
I already gave my black flags. You got any black flags, James?
Yeah. Well, mine revolves Ross as well, but this is the other reason. That guy who stole his hat and when he was pulling towards victory lane, that was ridiculous.
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, he ran out there and yanked the hat off and screamed at him. Like Ross thought he
God.
was going to get somebody congratulating, and there was this guy like screaming at him and took his hat.
That's ridiculous.
Apparently they got it back, but it was the stupidest thing. I'm like, how can a fan get that close?
Well, that's what when stuff like that happens, that's the stuff that worries me. Like,
I know
we're gonna lose access.
I know. Don't do that kind of stuff. Don't be an idiot. But I could not believe that happened. I was like, wow, that's insane.
As someone,
there's a video of it. If I can find it, I'll retweet it. But you can find. I'm sure you can find it.
As someone who benefits from the ease of access to getting garage passes, and I'm not talking about the media side of things, but just somebody who benefits from it, I would argue that there's too many people have an opportunity to get garage passes.
Oh yeah,
especially considering that you can't just buy a garage pass. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
You have to know somebody to get one, but if you know somebody, like, you don't need it. That's all you need.
That's right. Yep.
There's nothing else. You can be down there right with everybody and have the same access as anybody. So, but again, I benefit from it, so can't complain too much. But
people just gotta stop being stupid.
Yeah, people do. People do.
God.
All right. Motorsports Christmas makes for a long podcast, James.
That does.
But
let's finish it off.
We get to end the Motorsports Christmas and go to Nashville Super Speedway this weekend. Got all three series in action once again. The NASCAR Cup Series on Sunday, 7 p.m. on Prime, the Cracker Barrel 400. NASCAR Xfinity Series Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on the CW. It's the Tennessee Lottery 250. And Friday on Fox Sports 1, 8 p.m. the Rackley Roofing 2000 or 200, James, on the Craftsman Truck Series. That's what happens when you do the notes, right?
I know. Sometimes, yeah. It's going to be, it happens.
All three night races at Nashville Super Speedway this weekend. You get to pick first for the Cup Series, James. Who's your
Sunday
pick?
night's going to kill me.
Yeah, it's going to
Sunday night is so bad.
It's going to suck, but.
Oh, my God. Man, Nashville's such a tough one.
I hope you don't take mine because if you do, then I don't know.
Well, Ross is going to be good here, right?
Yeah.
So.
You going with him?
No, I'm not going to go with him. I have been circling the wagons with Chase Briscoe. I don't think I'm going to take Chase Briscoe either.
Okay.
Oh, man. Give me 1 second. I'm
my God.
Stuck.
Only you would have prepared for this.
I know. I'll say, I'll say Denny Hamlin.
Damn it. I knew you were going to do that.
I'll say Denny Hamlin.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yep. He's going to win after that mess.
Oh my God. All right. I'll go with Kyle Larson.
Perfect. Good enough.
Denny was my pick. All the way it was my pick. Will not pick Joey Logano, even though he won last year. Do you think we have 5 green, white checkers at the end of this year?
I hope not. Oh my God. Remember how mad I was last year? Oh.
I think I was calling for the end of green, white checkers after this one last year.
I don't know. I think you and I were, we were both pretty frustrated.
God, 5 green, white checkers in the night race on Sunday night. That would be great.
Yeah, that was nuts. My gosh.
Fantasy League. You want to chat about Fantasy League?
Sure. Our winner this week was Team Justin and Hendrick Flair. We had a tie.
Nice.
Although
that means technically I was second, right?
Yeah, technically you were second. You had the second most points. So Eric was second. We'll just call it second, and then we're not going to do third. We'll say Green Eggs and Ham was fourth.
There you
go.
Perfect. Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Ranger. I always like to keep tabs on Ranger. Ranger did not do well this week. There he is. He's 12th. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, Ranger.
Wow.
Didn't mean to call you out there. I was 7th, and our points leader, Smoking Grill Racing, was 8th. So there's that. Overall standings really quickly. Smoking Grill still number 1. Hendrick Flair number 2. Team James number 3. And Ranger number 4.
Nice.
So there you go. Defending champ Green Eggs and Hamlin is 5th. So there you go.
There you go.
Wow.
All right.
Fantasy League.
Thankful I didn't last minute put Larson in like I thought about.
Oh my God.
And then boy was I regretting it when he's out there leading. Like you got to be freaking kidding. Because I knew Larson would do one of two things. He would either bust his ass or he would go and just dominate the thing. And well, he fortunately went with the first one. So.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What a bummer for him though. I mean,
yeah, it's a bummer.
Just goes to show you, man, it's hard to do, even for the best.
Yes, it is.
I don't think it hurts the legacy of Kyle Larson at all.
He'll be fine.
Yep. Anything else, James, before we close out?
I can't believe this is the 4th Nashville race already.
Right?
That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
Fits right in. Fits right in.
I know, it's crazy.
The place hasn't been paved since it was built.
Oh, I remember like it seems like it was not that long ago. Like we were like, this place is gonna, are we gonna be okay with this? I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna be okay. Now this is gonna be the 5th race already.
And they've been good races, other than the fiasco at the end of last year's.
Yeah. Yep. One thing we did not talk about, I want to just bring it up really quickly because I feel like we need to make sure we cover everything. Christopher Bell's spotter just up and quit.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I don't know.
Because he literally didn't go to victory lane.
Christopher Bell said he quit. That was it.
Yeah, it was kind of mentioned in a passing way on the podcast or in the race broadcast, and
there was a press conference, and Chris was kind of laying out. He's like, he used the word quit, like he's quit.
Well, like I said, they said he didn't go to victory lane after they won.
Yeah, that was just weird. So one of the championship contenders is scrambling to. They've got a guy and
basically a test run. They said on the TV broadcast.
Yeah, and they said like he would not have this opportunity if we weren't in such a dire need. It was. I'm like, this whole thing is just nuts. I don't know what happened.
Well, can you imagine trying to find a top-notch spotter in the middle of a season?
Well, especially for a championship contender like Christopher Bell.
I mean, Brett Griffin's not spotting, right?
You said top-notch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sure somebody is out there.
I'm probably blocked. Brett probably blocked me on Twitter now. Jeez.
He's probably blocked a lot of people. I'm not going to go any further.
There's no probably there.
I was going to say something else. I'm just going to let it go.
Don't make me bleep anything at the end of the show.
I'm not going to bleep anything. We're going to get out of here.
All right. James, where can we hit you up on social media during the week?
At James Cush on Instagram and X.
You can find me at T Superspeedway on X. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find old episodes of the podcast on there. We'll have some race coverage up there in a couple of weeks, right, James? You and I going to Michigan.
Yep.
Got approved for credentials, so we'll have that after Nashville. So look forward to that. There will be likely a special podcast that weekend. We'll make the plans and figure it all out. James has to fill me in on his schedule yet because we kind of know
Disney. So
yeah, we kind of know, but he hasn't really fully briefed me.
I'm going Saturday for
all right,
sure.
You're gonna be there on Saturday.
That's
so
my
if I can keep you around long enough after the race on Saturday, we'll do a special podcast with some of the audio we gather.
Yeah.
So anyway, find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, wherever you found us this today. Subscribe, continue to listen for new episodes each and every week. Like I said, big things to come. Michigan coverage coming up in 2 weeks. Potentially another race or two later this season from me. We'll see. I'll keep you informed on that. But wherever you find us, please subscribe and continue to listen. NASCAR heads to Nashville Superspeedway this weekend. All 3 series in action, culminating with the Cracker Barrel 400 on Sunday. On Prime, it's on Prime. If you need Prime, it's free. You can sign up for free for the month. You can watch it for free, and it's worth it because it's great coverage. Yeah, shut up. We'll be back next week to break it all down. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.